This is Providence Television International, the game changer. Stand by for the next program.
Good morning and welcome to the interview segment on the Morning Drive Providence Television International. My name is Ugwebo Ikikwa, and with me in the studio is Dr. Emmanuel Igariba. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. We look forward to a very happy and exciting weekend.
Yes, we'll be moving straight. Today's topic will be strengthening institutions in Nigeria today. We're focusing on the judiciary, Inec, and the police. But first of all, let us look at the situation of these three institutions that I just talked about. How do they fare presently in Nigeria?
Well, to determine how they fare, we must do some little comparison as to what happened long before now. Time was when the judiciary was the last bastion of hope for the common man. Today, is it? That's a question that people must answer. All right. The police and, of course, Inec, are they playing their roles creditably? I think that is the question that must agitate the minds of many Nigerians at the moment. And these are critical institutions, honestly. They are critical institutions for national development and also for the development of the electoral process. Because you see, I have always said it. If you have a good Inec, chances are that many people will not want to go to court. Which is true. Yes, the court is there as the final arbiter, but if you have a good system, electoral process, and people are satisfied with the workings of INEC, for instance, they will shake hands across the divide, and there will be less job for the judiciary to do. Right. But the judiciary in the recent past has been battered by so many things, which is unfortunate, though, because it's the most permanent of the three arms of government. And I said it before on this station, that when you have an intervention, for instance, don't pray for that, the judiciary remains, while the other two are put in abeyance. We have experienced it in this country. So the judiciary is key. In fact, it's the major strand on which the others stand. So it must be totally isolated or insulated from the trappings that we usually see arising from election matters and things like that. Must have absolute trust on the judiciary. And luckily in this country, we have had judicial officers who were like gods in this same country, who were like gods. And not too long ago, we interviewed a gentleman, a centenarian, 100 years old, Bazoye. It's 100 years. He worked in the judiciary all his life. And he mentioned it, that time was in this country when you could do thumbs up for the judiciary. And he mentioned some names of judicial officers, you know, people like Justice Adetokunbo Ademola, the first indigenous chief justice of this country. He mentioned many names. Lawyers who became members of the bench. Yes, in this same country. And we are looking forward to a time when the judiciary will be insulated completely from the trappings of politics and all sorts of things. I personally look forward to such moments because I've seen it. It worked. I mean, I can go on reeling out names of judicial officers who are like gods in this same country. Kayode Shaw, for instance, great judicial officer. Our own Obaseki, Otutu Obaseki, was number 2 in the Supreme Court. I mean, these were idols, really. But over time, they became less and less insulated. And that's the problem we have had. So I pray that the judiciary should come up all over again so that we can have absolute trust in that arm of government. It's the most stable, by the way. But now, let's talk about INEC. Can anybody truly give INEC thumbs up today?
For one, I won't.
So, many people, they will not get, even people who have benefited from the decisions of INEC, they will tell you, quite frankly, that this was just circumstantial. Right. I want to look forward to a time when, in the past, when we could rely on the judiciary, or rather on INEC as an electoral body, and said, yes, the decision was taken in good faith, and then we will all abide by it. It's totally absent now. I'm sorry to say this. It's totally absent. And we must take a second look at the kind of people we put in such positions. And I've often said, I mean, this has always been my own take on this, that whoever the chairman is, chairman of INEC, should not be somebody picked up by the chief executive. Right. Because he will do his bidding. Anyway, somebody should be picked, and then you have major critical stakeholders who will say that, yes, this man is fit for this position. And that can be done. Yes, I've often advised on that on this program, on this station, that can be done. All right? In a situation where the INEC chairman becomes more or less like a stooge of somebody else, it's totally unacceptable. Yes. He's responsible to the people. The INEC chairman is positioned to be isolated from whatever arm of government. It should be responsible to the people of this country. Right. That's one. The police too should be totally insulated. Okay? That's why people are even saying that the Inspector General of Police should not be somebody just handpicked by the president. Yes, it should be a collective effort. Okay? We have said it, many people have said it, many well-meaning Nigerians have said it. The reason being that, look at it carefully, the police force is the police force of the people, not the police force of the person in power. Yes, the police force is responsible to the people, not to the man at the helm of affairs. That's the difference between us and some advanced countries, okay? So that certain decisions can be taken regardless of who is involved. Right. So these three bodies, the judiciary, the electoral body, and the police, must work for the success of all election matters in this country. I should even think, and I would suggest, that INEC should do its work properly to lessen the burden on the judiciary. They will have nothing, more or less nothing to do. If the electoral process is right and is hitch-free, I look forward to a day when the loser and the losers, when the winner and the losers, because usually there's one winner and there are many losers, they will shake hands across board, say, yes, you have won and won squarely, right? But, well, sometimes too, Nigerians are bad losers. But when the whole thing is transparent, there's no reason why they cannot shake hands across the board. Say, yes, I've won rightly, and the other person say, oh yes, you have done very well. We'll meet some other time, another election. That's the way things should go. In this country, what do you find? What do you find? Bloodletting, mayhem, ballot box snatching. You know, I saw some pictures the other day. Ballot boxes were snatched, papers thrown somewhere and set on fire. And these are sacred instruments. Sacred instruments. And we do not know, in this country, I think it's been lost on us, we do not know the sacredness of our electoral process. We do not in this country. That card held by that market woman, held by that peasant, that card, voter's card, can determine the future of a people. The power of the electoral process. That's what it is. It's been lost on us, unfortunately, but I believe that things can still be turned around. They can still be turned around.
Okay, since we're focusing on these three institutions, first of all, let me go down to the police. Is it the duty of the police to meddle in the affairs as regards elections, INEC?
No, it's not. Their duty is to maintain peace and orderliness. All right? They shouldn't, I mean, why should they meddle? They're a security agency. Why should they meddle? But it's just that, again, some of the political actors, they believe that they can pocket the police to do their bidding, which is wrong, absolutely wrong. But I have seen it. I have seen it on many occasions when members of the police force, they go, and this is true, I've seen it, they go to a polling center. There's nothing for them to feed.
Okay.
Yes, nothing for them to feed. 2-3 years ago, as a voter, I'm not a politician. I had to plead with them, please be patient. And in my presence, somebody came, soft drinks and all sort of things. For policemen who are supposed to be on duty, they should be well taken care of, so that they can be isolated or insulated completely from the trappings of politicians. That's the way things should go.
All right.
Yes, but that's not the way at the moment.
Okay.
Yes. Excuse me.
If we're actually talking about those down the ranks, what about those on top? There was in one of the states an election was held. A local government election was held, and we know that during that election, while there was supposed to be security presence, on the day and the day after the elections, security details were withdrawn from places that were already known to be hotspots, the local governments. What's your take on this?
It happens regularly. It happens. But that's why I say that the police should be isolated or insulated from the trappings of the electoral process. They are there. I mean, their duty is just to protect the people, to protect the instruments, the various instruments used, ballot boxes and things like that. And it stops there. It ends there. The movement of the ballot boxes or the ballots to the collation center should be well protected. Those are part of their duties. All right. But in this country, we have witnessed situations where the police themselves colluded with either party A or party B to shortchange the system. And I think that's not good enough. It's not good enough at all. And I believe that the less police presence we have at election, the better for us. Yes, the less. And people should be, again, I come to Inec, they should be well tutored as to their roles. Even the political parties, they are more guilty. I mean, we heard from the grapevine that some political parties were, in this last election, they were giving out 10,000 or whatever it is. And that is absolutely unnecessary. Absolutely. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
The political parties giving out money. On what basis? Tell me, on what basis? Are you buying over the electorate? Or you are even bribing the police? So it doesn't make sense.
Just before we go, let us look at this issue. Flouting court orders and judgments. I'll give two instances. We had a situation where there was a statement as regards VIOs not having to collect monies on the road and all that. And the state government is saying that no, that is the Supreme Court's judgment, that it will not affect, Lagos State to be precise, and that is not going to affect. And then apart from that, the cases are bound. So these issues as regards flouting judgments and others, what do you think about it?
Because we are living in, some people have said, loosely though, that like we are living in the Stone Age. The rule of law is sacrosanct. Yes. The rule of law, that's the thing that regulates the society. Otherwise, we'll be back to the Stone Ages. The rule of law is on top. When you flout the rule of law, you are taking us back into the Stone Age, where there's no order. Rule of law regulates the behavior of human beings in a given society. Must respect the rule of law. But look at it now. The situation is so bad that even government officials, they flout the laws very readily. Politicians flout the laws. Judgments are bought, and things like that. So where are we even going in this country? Where are we going? And for any country to proceed on the trajectory of excellence is the rule of law. It underscores all the niceties of those things that make a nation great. Yes. Those niceties. When you begin to determine what the law should be according to your own whims and caprices, then we are in trouble. Because the rule of law is fixed. The law is fixed. Whether you are talking about politics or whatever, the law is always the law. And that's why the judiciary must play a very, very vibrant role. Because when there are turbulent situations across board between the legislature and the executive, who is the arbiter? Of course, it's the judiciary.
Exactly.
All right? So the laws of this country must be well respected. must be well respected. Whether it's federal, state, or local government, the laws must be respected. Many organs of government do not respect the laws of this country, and that is very sad, very, very sad indeed.
Well, like I've always said, always a very interesting session with Dr. Emmanuel Legari. But once again, thanks for coming to the studio.
Yes, thank you very much.
I believe you should have a parting shot for us.
Parting shot, yes. We're approaching the Yuletide season. Very soon we enter November. Please drive carefully. Our roads should be free from all kinds of dangers. But where are the vehicles now anyway? The roads are getting freer and freer, so that probably might just be a comforter, right? But at the same time, I must plead. Please let us drive carefully. Let us obey traffic rules and regulations. And I'll plead with government, please bring the price of petroleum products down. Thank you.
Well, on this note, I want to say thanks so much for watching our next program, which will definitely be the news is fully packaged. So don't miss it. Thanks again for watching.